It's time to get your arcade fix on.
This creeps up on you, and I thought I had it under control. I did. And even at the start, I knew when people said, oh, you're going to buy a cabinet, sure, one, you know, and they say, yeah, one turns into two, turns into three, and it's like, yeah, but sure, but how many, right?
Get ready for the next one.
G'day guys, welcome to Spacies Arcade. Today I'm going to answer a question that was posed to me by Tiger Teamer. He's one of our Patreon supporters, and he posed a question as part of the latest Raw Uncut video, which I'm yet to film for those guys. But I thought I'd share this question with the broader audience here, and that all relates to how many arcade machines do I currently have. And I'm going to tell you right now that when I was posed that question and I thought about it, you know, I came up with a number and I was nowhere near that number. So I wonder if you guys, which is just, I mean, that's terrible, the fact that I can't even count close to the actual number of machines that I do actually have. So for you guys that have followed the channel for a while, what do you think? How many cabs do you think I own right now? Because, you know, we've been doing a number of episodes now since the end of 2016, so we've been going a few years now, and of course I've covered all the different pickups and bits and pieces along the way. I often show, you know, a few of those in the VIP lounge here where I'm at the moment, and also out in the games room, which has changed again, guys. Lots have been happening behind the scenes, but you don't often see all of them at once. Well, you never see all of them at once. One time I dragged a whole load of them into the garage. Do you remember that episode, guys? And we looked at those, talking about a storage. But yeah, let's understand how many cabs I've got. I'm going to run through the list for you guys here, and then we better talk about it, because I've got problems, seriously. So VIP Lounge, that's where I'm at the moment. The cabs that are in here are the Grand Champion Cockpit, Tales of the Arabian Nights Pinball. We've got the Tato Defender, which has got the J-Rock, multi-J-Rock in there. There is the Mystery USA pickup cab that, yes guys, I haven't done that video yet, but I will. And that's the first one of those two cabs that came over from the USA, is now in the VIP Lounge. I have Pole Position in here. I have Donkey Kong in here. I've got Midway Space Invaders. The Virtual Pinball Machine. Got a Pac-Man LAI Lowboy cabinet. The Virtual Ice Cold Beer Machine, which is also a jukebox, and it's a PC, so it does other multi-games in there as well, guys. And I've got the Neo Geo, which has got the FPGA multi-cart in there. And if we're going to count all the arcade machines, and certainly from a price perspective, going to have to count also the Pachinko machine. Of course, we have the Star Wars Pachinko machine in here as well, guys. So straight off the bat, there is 12 arcade cabinets so far. I think, okay, well, that's not too bad. Let's go out to the games room and understand how many machines are now out there, which is effectively out in our extended living room. So we've got the NBA Jam, we've got the Daytona, and I'm going to count these as two cabs because we've got the left and right side, and of course you can have them as singles. We've got the sit-down Outrun. We've got two Astro Cities, one vertical and one horizontal, and we've got Raspberry Pis in both of those. We've got the Outrun 2 sit-down cab out there. And then we've got all the pinballs. We've got X-Files pinball, we've got Space Shuttle, Theatre of Magic, Firepower, 8-Ball Champ, and we've also got the Hankin cocktail machine out there with the Raspberry Pi. Now, with all those pinball machines, they've only just recently come back into the games room. They were previously in storage, and then I got them out of storage, and Optimus Syme had them at his workplace. And we had them there set up for a while, which was awesome because we got to use them. We're going to have the pinballs in storage, guys. And anyway, for some far out reason, they employed someone else and needed the area for another workstation. Can you believe that? Priorities are all wrong at Optimus Prime's work. So I had to get those pinballs back and then squeeze them into the games room, which, yeah, required a few things to be moved. All of this has been happening, guys, over the last month or so. It's been a lot happening. So anyway, that's the current lineup that is in the games room, which actually takes it up to 25 machines in the house so far. And all of those are operational machines. So you've got to ask yourself, do you need 25 machines in your house to start with? Then we go into the study, and in the study I have an asteroids cocktail, I've got a Tato basketball, there's a mystery cab in there that I haven't shared with you guys, but I will one day. It's not extremely exciting, but there's some nice things about that particular cab from functionality point of view. We'll talk about that another day. And then I've got the Aquarion pachinko machine in there as well. So just the 4 cabs in there, and probably could squeeze another one in there if I move some stuff around. But anyway, just the 4 currently, and that takes us to 29 machines, and of course they are all working as well, although the asteroids does need some work. Then, guys, we go to the garage. Now, I would have normally gone to the storage unit, but I've got a number of machines in the garage. Talk about that later. So in the garage right now, we have the Mystery USA import cab number 2. We've got Pinball, we've got Saucer Pinball. There's another mystery cab in there from when I did the Donkey Kong pickup, and I think I mentioned during that there was another cab that was just an opportunistic buy. There's also another mystery cab, which was a Lloyd's, through Lloyd's auctions, which I'd really like to share with you guys and do a special episode on that. Championship Sprint is out there. We've got that big black pedestal multi-game with the, I don't know, it's like 38-inch screen. It's huge. That's out there. I've got the Tato Speed Race Deluxe machine is also in the garage. We've got the Sega Blast City with the Raspberry Pi. We've got the Namco Noir, which had the PlayStation 3 multi in it. Then we've also got the Lowboy out there. It's a multi-Lowboy, which I was going to turn into a Galaga-themed Lowboy, which would be a multi as well. Got a Tato Space Invaders out there that's almost complete, missing some side art on one side and a working board set, although I have plenty of board sets. And another Tato Space Invaders, which was that bad conversion that was turned into a Hyper Olympic, which is horrendous paint job on it. And they taken out the mirror and stuff and mounted a screen, front on and stuff. So it's a little bit far gone, but it's still a original Space Invaders cab. And then there's in the garage now, and which is part of the reason why it's been converted into another space to house all these machines, guys, is I've also got another mystery. I'm so behind, guys, on sharing all these games with you, but there's another big mystery game in the garage of significant historical importance, and I am so thrilled to have it. It has a huge backstory. That game I've been working on, and because it had some issues, and I've been getting it better and better and better, and I will share it with you. And I'm sorry that I just haven't gone bang, 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 just shown you guys, but I really do want to spend time on each of these machines. They deserve it. They're classics, and that's how I like to run things. We will get to that machine. I have a feeling that machine will be probably the end of the Series 3, and then we're going to embark on something for Series 4 to kick it off, and part of that is the solution to this problem that I have right now with all these machines. And guys, no, I'm not going to open up an arcade and go the way of Richie Knuckles and get a divorce within weeks after. I don't plan on doing that, nor do I plan on buying Last Gamer's house and filling that up, although that would be a great space to fill. Having said that, just no good reason to have so many arcades. I'm just saying that right now. So something's got to give, guys. So with all of those machines that are in the garage currently, that takes the number. We're now up to 42 cabinets, arcade cabinets. So do we stop there, guys? No, we don't. We go into storage now. So in storage, I have another Tato basketball, but that one is just really the empty shell, and I use some of the parts there to make up the one that's working in the house and the study. There is a breakout in there. The control panel had been drilled out for Hyper. So many people converted machines to Hyper Olympic and World Rally back in the day. I don't know how many times I've seen those two games been hacked in, and someone drilled out the holes on the breakout panel for that. It's missing a marquee in the bezel as well, but the cab is there. So there's got the breakout. There's an LAI cocktail machine. It's got a multi Pandora's box in it. There's the original Logitech Space Invaders with the really cool marble finish top, which was my first Space Invaders that I ever played way back when in New Zealand. So and obviously not that particular machine, but one just like it. So that's very special to me, but it's in storage. We've got the Atari Flyball, which is complete, and again, haven't got back to that to get the flyback, which ironically is part of Flyball, is the problem in that machine. That needs to be resolved, I think. I mean, the board could be dud as well, but it is fully complete. Atari Flyball, be cool to get that going, old black and white. There's another Namco Noir, which has got a Pandora's box built into it. There is a Neo Geo low boy format Neo Geo in there, which is slightly smaller than the Neo Geo that I have here in the VIP lounge. Got Sega Enduro Eraser is in there too, the deluxe, and there's another Tato Speed Race in there, and that's got a bad conversion to World Rally 2. And there's a Super Galaxion, yes, ION, which is some Galaxian clone part 4, which I blew up, tried to get it going and ended up with a lot of smoke and burnt PCB edges. So that didn't go well. I've got the Super Sprint, guys. The Super Sprint is still in storage. It's got the Champion Sprint here, of course, in the garage, as I mentioned before. I've got the Atari Video Pinball in there, which is really ultimately a cool game. I've got an empty Virtual Cop 2 pedestal. It's just the pedestal, guys. Actually, I do have the game as well and the guns, but at the moment the pedestal was in there and it's just empty. I have left and right Daytona cabs, so I'm going to again treat them as 2 cabs in pieces, but without PCBs and without wiring, but everything else for 2 effectively all new Daytona cabs, which I had plans to set up and build in PCs and link up to the original controls and Also in there is 2 more mystery cabs, guys, which I picked up. This was my last pickup that I did, and actually it was that pickup that really highlighted to me that I've got serious problems. It's taken me this long. And just so we get to the count right now, before I talk about that briefly, is that we're now up to 59 arcade cabinets. The last 2 cabinets that I picked up, and this is part of the problem, guys, as I picked up because the price. Did I need them? No. Did I have anywhere to put them? Well, clearly not. And so I had to actually go to the storage unit, reorganize everything just to make room to put these 2 cabs in, did the pickup, and I took them straight to the storage unit, and I haven't looked at them since. The pickup had to go really quickly on the day because it was raining and there was other logistical issues getting these 2 cabs, and they went straight into storage and I haven't seen them since. So something's not right there, guys. Something's not right there. Absolute thrill of the pickup for sure, which is part of it as well. Thrill of the pickup. Price. There's a couple of things there, guys, that are real gotchas when you're collecting. So anyway, are we finished? Well, no, because at Optimus Prime's work, even though the pinballs all came back home, I still have 3 machines there, and that's the Chase HQ, the Afterburner 2, and Moon Patrol, which takes us to a grand total of 62 games. 62 games, guys. Really quickly, in terms of, over these years since the end of 2016, I have had other games. The ones I've sold, I sold a Midway Space Invaders, I sold a Virtua Cop 2 stand-up, an Atari APB, the fake Sega Blast that I had, the Sega Versus cab, if you remember that one, guys, and a fat Red Boy cab, which had Street Fighter in it. So those were sold games. I swapped the stand-up Outrun, and of course I now got the sit-down Outrun. I gave away a Sega Rally shell, both left and right shells. I destroyed my 2 homemade cabs, the cocktail cab that I made right from the early days that you'll see in the earliest episodes, and my little sort of low boy homemade cab, which had the triple screens. And I'm sort of regret actually destroying that cab, because it was really cool with the 3 screens, with the flyers, and had the dynamic marquee and stuff. That was way early, right from the early days. But I dismantled those because, guys, I had all these real cabinets, and so I started, populating those. It's just one of those things as you do, you start sort of, thinning out the herd a little bit in terms of the ones that you want to keep. And also the rear projection part of that Virtua Cop 2 went to the dump. Yeah, not happy about that. But at the same token, I think I explained it away back in that episode, because that thing was horrendously horrible and ugly. I got all the stuff out of it. Anyway, that went to the dump. So not counting that rear projection, because I already counted the pedestal, that actually means I've purchased 73, including the 2 homemade ones there, 73 arcade cabinets since the end of 2016, and currently 62 of those, guys, I currently own. Clearly, by this, from what I said from the numbers, really operationally in the house right now, I can only squeeze in sort of 29 or 30. So I sort of got 32 cabs I have no possible place to put. Now, one of the other questions that was posed to me as part of the Patreon question set, I think was from Snorky at the time, and he said, would you ever consider putting games on location? Of course, that is part of the solution. If you look at John's Arcade, he did that, right? Started creating his own little, arcades out in pubs. He went down that path, and guys, I didn't get into this hobby to be an operator. I just didn't, right? And it's hard enough as it is. It's hard enough it is just keeping these games running. The occasional party that we have around here, I'm working like the day prior, going around and fixing things up, reconfiguring stuff, who's coming over, setting up the different games, especially in the multi-cades. It's a job. And I said I didn't want the hobby to be a job. So, guys, something's got to give. Now, we'll get back to next steps in a minute. Let's just talk quickly about what's happened here, because I want to share this with you, because it's a problem, guys. It's a serious problem. It can affect your finances, your health, your relationships. I'm serious. Like, this creeps up on you, and I thought I had it under control. I did. And even at the start, I knew when people said, oh, you're going to buy a cabinet, sure, 1, and they say, yeah, 1 turns into 2, turns into 3, and it's like, yeah, but sure, but how many, right? And I know when I got to sort of 5, 6, 7, I knew I was getting bigger, but then after that, something just, I don't know. It was then just the thrill of the chase, cabinets coming up, loving that particular cabinet, or loving the price and all the hardware and knowing all that stuff that's in it, and just going, wow, that's just fantastic value. And that's a big problem in this hobby, is the prices can vary so widely. And if you know the value, and you know the value of the hardware in particular, then a lot of times, you know, that's what just makes you go, Greg, go buy. I feel like it makes me go buy those particular machines. And parts are expensive, and you know, that's a whole topic for another day in terms of fixing up cabs that are broken. Parts are expensive, so you take that on the flip side and go, well, if you can, you know, buy cabinets for parts. I don't know, it's not good. And as I said, like, there is an addiction to the chase, to the pickup, and you know, just from the 80s guys in particular, and I know I've now collected a number of 90s machines, I'm really getting an attachment for those, but I just love all the shapes. And of course I haven't counted all my Replicade, there goes the mic, arcade cabinets, or the quarter arcade ones up there. Part of my addiction might be solved with these little guys, because I love the artwork, the shape of these cabinets, and there's a nostalgic thing there. There just is, right? You grew up in that period. They're just beautiful, and that's a problem. And you know, there are so many cabs, and some of them, like, I think I've said it before, Dragon's Lair, not totally keen on the game itself. Totally respect people like Salah, who's played on this channel and's got a complete playthrough that you can see here. It wasn't me doing that, but that game is a classic. The little cabinet with the LED scoreboard at the back, which they did really beautifully on Replicade. All of those things just bring back memories. I just look at these things, they're like pieces of art, they're living art, you can play and interact. And much like when you enjoy music and you remember when you first listened to that song in the car back in the 80s with your wind blowing through your hair in the summertime, you know, drinking Miami coolers at Christchurch. No, I didn't drink much of those Miami coolers. I did have blooming vodka and orange screwdriver out of a cask. I remember that. That was pretty premium back in the day. So, yeah, it's all of that. The nostalgia gets you. So I just wanted, I just want to share this whole thing about this is sharing my journey, sharing my experiences. This is where I am right now, guys. I see people also, if you guys watch Retro Ralph, it's just hilarious watching him right now. Because he seems to be just buying at a rate of knots and running out of room quickly, and I see so much in what he's doing now of what I've been doing almost in hyperspeed. So look out for Retro Ralph's storage unit, his arcade that he'll be opening. I've been doing sort of changes, but at the moment all of my changes have been a progression. And the VIP lounge, if you remember, was going to be the only part of the arcade in the house. That crept into the study, and then of course I had too many machines, and so I started getting the storage unit filled up, and then I managed to get a machine out into the living room area. Then that started getting more and more machines until that ended up being a game room, and then one side of the garage got filled because it was an overflow, so one of the cars went out on the street, and then the other car came out of the garage when that big super awesome historical Grail game arrived, and I need to make room for that. So that's it. And now I'm out of space in every area. So if you just look at all that, something's got to give. Something's got to change, guys. So what we're going to do is I have been planning, and as I said, I'm not opening an arcade, I'm not doing anything crazy like that, but I have a partial solution to my problem. Some machines are absolutely going to have to go. I don't know how I'm going to reconcile that, and I'm going to do my very best to keep as many machines as I can, even if I can't have them all at the house. Don't want to put them out on location or anything like that, but they're, there's nice solutions even with Optimus Prime, taking on a few cabs at his work and stuff. Again, it seems crazy to me now, guys, that I bought cabs and they're with someone else. I think all the way back, And there was another collector that actually had a number of machines. In fact, two of the machines I bought off him, which was Donkey Kong and Moon Patrol. And he had those two cabinets at Player One, which, again, if you go back to the videos, I went out to Player One, a little arcade there, a music teacher who had a little arcade. And yeah, and this guy kept a couple of machines there. And I always used to think that was odd. I was like, why would you do that? Why? And it's like, if you really run out of room that you're now putting machines at other people's places, it's like, why would you do that? Let's leave it there for now. As I said, I've got a plan. I'm still working on it. I'm going to share it with you. That is going to be the kickoff, I believe, to season 4. And then we're going to get busy, guys. And then we're going to solve this problem once and for all. I'm hoping going to solve this problem once and for all. Guys, we're going to leave it there. Look forward to coming back to you to go through these mystery cabs in order, including the USA cabs. I've got some commentary also on Pinball Effects that I need to share now that we've gone through several of the releases for the early access. So yeah, look out for those videos. If you like that sort of stuff, please consider subscribing. Thanks again to all you Patreon guys, you know who you are. Really appreciate it. Thanks for everyone for just watching and hanging out with me. I'm going to continue this journey, guys. We're going to keep going, and I'm going to play these games. I'm going to play more than collect. Anyway, until next time, ciao for now.
Chicken fight like a robot.